Hi everyone and welcome back. This next activity that we're going to be looking at is user journeys. So this is a really good activity for mapping out either a current user journey, so the current state, or looking at an ideal flow, I guess, for a new website redesign. So in terms of tips, what we'd recommend is that you encourage your participants to start at the end. So what is the end goal of that flow or journey? And then essentially work backwards to the steps that essentially need to be completed as part of that particular flow or journey to complete the end goal. It could also be supported by Google Analytics if you want to map out a current journey, and therefore provides another layer of data validation towards that flow. The last thing that we recommend is that you might want to assign people into groups for this activity. So essentially people can work collaboratively against an idea together. And we would suggest a maximum of 3 per group, just so that there's not kind of a lot of time taken in terms of the discussion, that you actually get the information on the page that you require. So in terms of the actual user journey board that we have in front of us here, again, we've got those clear instructions for the activity on the left-hand side, and then we have the example on the right-hand side. So obviously this is a very simple example, but hopefully gives the users and the participants enough to get started with. So you clearly have a start and a finish to your user journey, and then in between, I guess, are the steps that are taken to achieve that end goal. So I think it's really important that you do include an example, particularly on an activity like this, where it could be perceived to be, I guess, something that's quite complex or complicated. And I think it is important to encourage your participants to kind of put in as many steps as they think is relevant. But if there's only 2 steps, of course, that's fine. But if there are 10 steps, again, that is completely fine. It's as many steps as we think are required as part of either the current or the ideal journey. And as you move down the board, as you can see here, we've just got one example where we've got some blank spaces for participants to input their information. So we have a start and we have a finish and a couple of blank spaces in terms of the steps in between, but at least give them a little bit to get started with so that they can quickly input that finish as the starting point and then work their way backwards. So thanks so much for your time on that one, guys, and I'll see you in the next activity.